What is up, and welcome back to another episode of Blood and Beer, the show where we talk blood sport and we drink beer. I'm your host, Matt, and as always, we got some MMA to talk, we got some beer to drink. We're sipping on Bud Light. We have been for a while on the show now, just the easy thing to get. I'm not trying to get out there and try anything new right now. And it's the official drink of the UFC. Welcome to this episode of Blood and Beer. Tonight, we're breaking down UFC Fight Night Lemos versus Jandiroba. Also, Paul versus Perry. We're going to make some predictions on both. $1,000 to bet. This is the pick'em episode, baby. We're up pretty big on these last two cards. We're up $479.91 over the last two cards. So not doing too shabby. If you've been watching, if not, the rules are we throw $1,000 on the card. We can or $1,000 on the weekend. We can use it any way we want, splitting it up between cards, parlays, prop bets, what have you. We don't have any prop bets or parlays for you. This weekend's kind of soft, so it is what it is. But with the UFC card this weekend, Lemos versus Jandiroba, it's not the highest quality of cards. Took a hit with Jin Young Park and Brad Tavares being called off because Jin Young Park couldn't pass the physicals before the fight. That was the co-main. If a card's taking a hit because you're losing Brad Tavares, you know it's not looking good. They threw something together. We got 11 fights to break down. We're going to get into all that, as well as predictions on Mike Perry versus Jake Paul. First fight we got for you. Thomas Peterson, he's a plus 100 dog taking on Muhammad Usman, minus 120 favorite. Muhammad Usman, brother of Kamaru, winner of The Ultimate Fighter a couple seasons ago. The guy is awkward. He's got herky-jerky style, not super crisp striking, not great wrestling, not a lot of jiu-jitsu there. But what the guy does have, he's got power. 237 pounds for a heavyweight, but he's got knockout power. He's got strength, so when guys try to clinch him or use their body weight on him, he can use his athleticism to throw him off. But yeah, not a lot of skill, awkward style. And coming back, his opponent, Peterson, he lost to Jamal Pogues in his UFC debut. No head movement at all. He was just walking into the shots in that fight. He's open to be knocked out. Usman does have the knockout power. This whole card's tough to pick because it's a bunch of lower level guys that you don't know much about and you don't know how they're going to match up against each other. I'm going to go with Usman just because I've seen more out of him and the knockout possibilities there. I don't think it's happening, but you throw 100 on Usman, you get 184 back. So that's our first bet of the night. Muhammad Usman at $100, minus 120 fave. Next fight, we got Luana Carolina. She's taking on Lucy Pudilova. Carolina, this is basically a pick'em, but minus 115, minus 105 for Pudilova. Goodness. I'm not real big on either of these fighters. I just don't think they have a high ceiling in the UFC, really. Carolina, she's more dynamic. She has good takedown defense and fast, dynamic striking. Her jiu-jitsu's there, but she's probably not gonna rely on it in this fight. You're looking at Pudilova. She's a wrestler. She's got a really good jab, but she doesn't have great takedowns being a wrestler. So if she has you on the ground, she does pretty well, but she has trouble getting you there. I don't like this fight, but I like Carolina just being more dynamic. The jiu-jitsu, the takedown defense, I think she's going to stuff Pudilova most of the fight. So 100 on Carolina gets you 190 back. Not confident on that one either. Next pick I'm a lot more confident on, and I'm probably going to lose this one because of it. Trey Ogden taking on Loic Rajabov. This fight also pick a minus 115 for Loic, minus 105 for Ogden. Ogden's kind of a trap play here. You look at him, you think, why is he, he's got a lot more experience than this guy. This dude's very strategic. He's a UFC coach. He trains a lot of fighters. He always has a really good plan coming in. High fight IQ, skilled everywhere, real good jiu-jitsu, but just not super athletic. The other way, we have Rajabov, or however the fuck it's said. He's a strong as fuck, well-rounded, knockout power in both hands, and this dude's the 2021 PFL runner-up. He lost to Raush Manfio in that season. I like Rajabov in this. He's strong, he's athletic. I think he's going to overwhelm Ogden. Ogden likes to have a slow-paced fight where he can dictate, where he can make decisions and just out-strategize you. I think if Loic Loic goes in there. He just makes it a fucking barn burner. I think he'll get him out of there. I got Loic Rajabov, 100 gets you 190 back on him as well. Not as confident as I thought I was starting it out, because Ogden, he really can just figure dudes out. He's kind of like James Krause, where he might not be better than you, but he's smarter than you, and he might out-strategize you. But we're going with Loic because that's what I wrote down. That's what my gut's telling me. But as I'm talking, I'm not liking it. I'm not liking it one bit. All right, next up we got Miranda Maverick. She has a new opponent in this one, taking on Dione Barbosa. Maverick, she's a weird fighter. I thought she was going to be one of the top girls at 125 by this point. Watching her a few years ago, she was just really dominant, strong wrestling. She has a little bit of ground and pound. Her top control is amazing, and she's got really good jiu-jitsu now. She just got second in jiu-jitsu worlds at brown belt, so she's got good jiu-jitsu now. And she's tough. She's huge for 125. Not height, but she's just strong as shit. She's stout. Barbosa, she's coming in short notice. She's green in the UFC. She's good. She's got striking. I don't think she's going to stop the takedowns of Maverick. I think Maverick's just going to overwhelm her and get a decision, probably 30-27 across the board. So I'm putting 100 on Maverick. She's a minus 225 favorite, so not a lot of comeback on it, but $100 gets you 144.50 in return. And then we got Brian Boom Boom Bam Bam Boom Boom Kelleher, whatever the fuck it is, taking on Cody Gibson. These dudes, both of them on the back end of their career, a little bit older. Kelleher, I think he's coming off 2 or 3 losses. He was looking good against Cody Garbrandt till he got slept, but he's also he's a guy, he can get slept. He can get caught in the guillotine because he leaves his chin out there when he goodness gracious. When he leaves his chin out there when he shoots his takedowns, and he's fighting a tall guy with a lot of range in Cody Gibson. Gibson could easily jump that guillotine with the long limbs. He's got the jab to keep him at range, and I think that a guy like Kelleher, if he gets caught clean with a 1-2 on the outside by Gibson, Gibson's not a power puncher, but I think he could put him down just by having a nice pop on his punches. Kelleher hasn't looked great lately. Another fight I'm not confident on, but I think Gibson will get the finish. $100 on Gibson at minus 205 gets you 149. We'll call it 150 on the comeback there. All right, we're getting through this card. It's like I said, it's a fucking bag. It's not a good one. Hyder Emil taking on Jung Young Lee. Hyder Emil, undefeated, strong, got power punching. His wrestling's good. Wrestling defense is pretty good. And then you got Lee, Jung Young Lee. He's from the road to the UFC, I believe. He's got really good jiu-jitsu, though. Both of them are kind of unproven at the UFC level right now. I don't know who I would pick because they haven't fought anyone like each other. Watching them at least. I'm going dog or pass with this one if you are betting it. I'm going to bet it because we got to get the 1,000 out, and that's how we're doing it. We're committed to the 1,000. We had fucked up our math the last 2 cards, so because we're committed to the 1,000, we got Hyder Emil. 100 gets you 250 back. We're picking a dog finally. We got a dog, Hyder Emil. And then next up, we got Superboy Do Ho Choi taking on Bill Algeo. Do Ho Choi plus 145 dog, Algeo minus 175. Choi, he was a beast coming into the UFC. He was a real prospect. Had a fucking barn burner with Cub Swanson. I think that took a lot out of him, but he also took a break to do his military duty for South Korea. He came back. He's on a 3-fight skid. He has not looked the same. He's tough. Dude's got a chin. He's tough, but in this fight with Bill Algeo, he's active. He's got cardio for days. He's got a really good jab. He uses his range well, and the downfall on Algeo is he can get bum rushed and put out of there quick, but Do Ho Choi is not the kind of guy that's going to come in and try to rush him, try to get in his face and catch him real quick. He's not a power puncher. He's more of a pick you apart, death by 1,000 slices kind of guy. So because of that, I got Algeo. I think he's going to outpace him. I think he's just going to outwork Do Ho Choi. And if it's not on the feet, Algeo's got good wrestling, good jiu-jitsu, great jiu-jitsu really. Dude's good everywhere. He just hasn't put it all together in the UFC. I think he's going to be able to use his experience, though, his cardio, the gas tank. He's going to weaponize that. Get the dub. $100 on Bill Algeo gets you 157.15 on the return, baby. Next fight, Cody Durden taking on Bruno Silva. This fight, tough because Durden has a weird win streak going on. I think he's on a 3-0 win streak right now, but I don't think he's a 3-0 kind of fighter. Good wrestling, not the best striking. He's got good submission defense. I'll give him that. He got out of a nasty armbar a few fights ago, but I don't see him getting it done in this. I got Bruno Silva with the power edge. I got him with the BJJ edge. We'll give wrestling to Durden. Tough fight to pick. It's minus 100 to minus 120. So I'm going to go with Silva in this. I just think more athletic, more dynamic. I think he's going to get it done. Whoops. Times 3. So $100 on Silva gets you 185. That's 800 of our bets so far. Next fight, we're not putting a bet down on because I fucking hate it. We got Kurt Holobaugh, winner of the Ultimate Fighter. He's taking on Kanan Kruczewski. Holobaugh plus 120, Kruczewski minus 140. I like Kanan in this. If you put 100 on him, you're getting 171 back. I might actually go back and bet this one. I'm not sure. I won't put it in our official numbers, but I like Kanan more and more the more I think about it. I don't think Holobaugh is that good. He's got good jiu-jitsu. He's good off his back, but in the UFC, if anybody's got submission defense, you're in trouble when you're that kind of guy that likes to pull guard, go to your back. So I'm thinking Kanan just gets it done. He's got power punching. He's got good wrestling. And Holobaugh is not the kind of guy that's going to shoot takedowns and get the fight to where he wants it to be. So 100 on Kruczewski gets you 171. We didn't put it in there, though, so not counting it. Next up, Amanda Lemos, the main event, taking on Virna Jandiroba. Minus 130 for Jandiroba, plus 100 for Lemos. This is striker versus wrestler. Lemos has some heavy hands for 125 and for the women's division. She has real knockout power. That's really about all she has, I think. She has decent takedown defense, but against a girl like Jandiroba who just has relentless wrestling, she's going to be shooting takedowns the whole time. And once she gets you down, girls don't seem to get back up. She's got such good top pressure, good jiu-jitsu. She's not searching for the submission. She's just always looking for the position over submission. Dominates fights. She's a decision machine. I think Jandiroba is going to continue to go on I think she's on a 5-fight win streak right now. I think she's going to keep pushing it along. I got Jandiroba, $100, wins you 180 on the minus 130 dog. Dog shit main event. Shouldn't be a main event for any UFC card with Lemos versus Jandiroba. No offense to them, they're just not there. I don't know what we're doing with this card. It's a shit card. I'm upset with it. You should be upset with it. UFC should give us better. I'm always blowing the horn for UFC saying, they're the fucking bee's knees. I love them, but this one is just not it, buddy. This is a shit card. Alright, but now we got that out of the way. We got UFC Fight Night out of the way. Paul versus Perry. We'll go ahead and wrap up our picks with this one. We're going to put $100 on this fight. I love Mike Perry, the king of violence, doing his thing over in BKFC. I loved him in the UFC also. Just super fun fighter to watch. He's got a ton of volume, the pressure, he's got power, he just loves to get hit. He's got a chin for days, tough as shit. Don't fall for the trap. They're going to want you to think this is the toughest test of Jake Paul's career. It might be. I think Tommy Fury probably was. He showed it by beating him. But what Jake Paul has going for him, he's got the power. He's got knockout punch power, serious knockouts. He's got the size. He's so much bigger than Perry. He walks around probably 225. Perry's walking around about 200, I bet. He's a boxer. Dude's been boxing, training just boxing for the past 6 or 7 years. Regardless of what you say, he's going to beat an MMA guy. I know Perry's been doing bare-knuckle boxing, but that's even different. You got a lot more clinch work. It's a completely different style. I think Paul's going to stay on the outside, and I hate this pick for me, but I got Paul by TKO. I just think he's going to hurt Perry. Perry's too tough for his own good. I think a ref's going to step in and say you can't take that much damage. I don't think he's going down, but I think Paul gets the win by TKO. And if you bet Paul by the TKO like we did for this fight, minus 125 are what the odds are at right now. $100 gets you 185 back. So there's no sexy numbers on this card. No great upsets this weekend that we're seeing. Really, the only upset you could pick is Mike Perry over Jake Paul. I don't think it's happening. But just dog shit card. Super close odds on all the fights, but goddamn, shit. So run through of all our picks real quick before we move on. We got Muhammad Usman minus 120. Luana Carolina minus 115. Loic Rajabov minus 115. Miranda Maverick minus 225. Cody Gibson minus 205. We got Hyder Emil plus 150. We got Bill Algeo over Superboy Choi at minus 175. Bruno Silva minus 120. We got we didn't throw this in our picks. Kanan Kruczewski over Kurt Hollabaugh. Jandiroba over Lemos minus 130. And then finally Paul with the TKO at minus 125. I hate myself for making that pick, but that's the pick we're going with. So that's what we got for you on the pick'ems. I hope we make you some money. I hope we stay positive for the year. This card was stressing me out. I didn't know how I was going to pick most of these. I still don't think I'm doing a very good job. But that's what we got for the picks. We're going to wrap things up with some fight announcements. UFC announced on the Sphere card, we got Raul Rosas Jr. He's taking on, I think it's Akri Long, or some Asian fighter with one name, I forget. Raul Rosas Jr. Chihuihuis. He's fighting on the Sphere card, so that just got announced today, just a little bit before recording. And then earlier today, also, we got Aljamain Sterling. He's going to be taking on Movsar Evlov at 145 on UFC 307. I think that's in Abu Dhabi in October. Can't wait for that one also. So those are some fights that just got announced. There's going to be a lot more coming down the pipeline. The Sphere is going to have everything announced very soon. We're 8 weeks out. They're not going to do what they did for 300, not going to do what they did for 303, I hope, and wait till the last minute to announce the main events. But that's what we got for you. Thanks for tuning in to Blood and Beer. I'm sorry it's such a shit weekend for fights. We got the Jake Paul, Mike Perry thing, but that's about it. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Matt, and happy betting. Good luck. God bless.